Unbelievable. We got Tuesday, May 19th, 6:30, give or take. We got fresh haircutted Jeff. And me, I'm starting to look like an aluminum siding salesman who's not allowed near schools. And this handsome fella that's going to join us today. Before we get started, I would like to tell everybody how appreciative Governor's Radio is, that everybody's tuning in during this pandemic. And knowing that you got a lot of things you can do with your free time, but that Governor's is a big part of keeping you occupied. So I'd like to let everybody know that you can win free passes to Governor's Comedy Club when they reopen, which God willing is going to be soon. If you go to teespring.com and if you scroll down and look for Gov's Radio, you can actually search for your favorite show on there. I don't believe No Rhyme or No Reason is on there yet. And, I'm sure the Malaysian factory is cranking out product as we speak. So hang in there. We will have that soon. And to enter, what you need to do is take a picture with a T-shirt or a mug. You could try to get one of these. There's very limited amount of the Jeff Bosey drinking coffee cup. But if you get your own thing, take a picture, send it in. And the sixth picture that they get will get tickets to a show. That being said, let's have some fun tonight. We got our buddy Les with us, and
all right.
We're looking forward to having a good time. How are you, Les?
All right. I am so excited to be here tonight. Sincerely, guys, ever since I was a little kid growing up in Sunnyside, Queens, I always dreamt that one day, while people were getting sick and dying all around me, I would be able to stare into my computer and talk about comedy and baseball with Rich Rader and ultimate Jeff Bosey. So in other words, dreams do come true. Thanks for having me.
It has been a dream of mine for years as well.
I'm going to try to make you guys keep chatting. I'm going to try to make your volume a little bit louder. See if we can.
Deegan, how have you been, my
doing
friend?
That? Can I do a Joe Biden impression?
Oh, hey,
Go for it. Don't touch.
Which is weird because I'm making fun of him, but I'm probably going to vote for him.
You got to stick together.
I just lost half the audience. Okay, good.
Well, that's two people. So Les, Jeff and I were excited that you could join us for a couple of reasons. One is, to be brutally honest, from my perspective, 9 weeks of watching people, basically the powder fly off their donut on social media and just, the whole Chicken Little thing, it's getting old and, oh yeah, enough already. It's like, let's be a little optimistic without being being crazy and sarcastic and mean. So who better than, I'd say maybe the nicest guy on the screen right now. Sorry, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Your family voted, Jeff.
I have developed a reputation for always being happy.
There you go.
But you know what? Being happy takes a lot of hard work. That's right. No, listen, every morning I read motivational literature, I listen to inspirational music, and I smoke a bowl of opiated hash. Relax, I'm kidding. I never read before noon.
Are you?
I've been missing showbiz. I'm starting to do my act. This is terrible.
There were discussions prior to the huge uproar and to the seriousness of what are the days of Corona. And a couple of, not as big as famous as, Rich Rader. Some of us were sitting there, joking around, like, you know what? Believe it or not, we believe that the cure for COVID could lie in Les Deegan's tears.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
I heard it was Les. I actually heard if somebody drank a shot of unicorn blood and your tears, they would be cured of everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm here to save the world.
One tear at a time.
So I notice as a nice young baseball fan from New York that you're sporting the Met jersey and not the Yankee jersey.
Yes, well, officially, I am a Met fan and I am a Yankee fan, which to a sincere Yankee fan makes me an asshole.
So what I heard there is you're a Mets fan, but in October you're a Yankees fan.
Ah, Okay. Thus, Jeff, he's the one that calls me an asshole. See, that's what I was in.
See?
Yeah, I root for both my children.
Okay.
But when push comes to shove, my heart isn't Flushing. So,
Okay.
there you have it.
All right, cool. So here's what we get. Me and Jeff wanted to see exactly how committed you are to being a Mets fan. So we have some things that we feel any Met fan that's been, let's say, a Met fan as long as yourself. And do you go back to the origins of the Mets?
Yeah, go back to 1962. They started in the Polo Grounds.
Yep.
My first game was, I think, was 1965 at Shea Stadium. The Mets lost to the Dodgers 9-2. Jack Fisher lost to Claude Osteen.
You know, you and the 12 people there must have had a good time, though.
I go way back.
All right.
I go way back.
So now, would you consider yourself a Met enthusiast?
I would say so.
All right.
I would say so.
So we're going to test a little bit of what I like.
I once slept with Jane Jarvis.
Jeff, any comment on that?
Well, I haven't had the chance.
Joan Jarvis.
Oh, okay.
You know who that was, right?
Absolutely.
He's to the Mets like Eddie Layton is to the Yankees.
Jeff?
Rich?
Jeff slept with Eddie Layton.
Because you liked his big organ. That's who Joan Jarvis was. She played the organ, Jeff.
Of course she played the organ.
Okay.
Jeff actually lost an arm wrestle. That little known fact. Jeff actually lost an arm wrestle in a bar to Bob Shepard a year after he died.
Hey, listen. I figured let's keep on the streak as long as I could. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Pazuzu, arm wrestles, whatever it is. I understand.
Yeah.
That's good. By the way, that's our gratuitous Jeff Bosey Pazuzu mention. In case you want to know, if you go to Teespring and look for the mug, it might be there.
All right.
So let's let me ask you this. As a Mets fan, I'm going to throw some trivia at you, and let me see if you got a little bit of what it takes here. Okay.
Let's see how good I am.
I think you're going to be okay here. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to give you a date, and I wanted to see if you know what happened. Okay.
Okay.
June 1st, 2012.
June 1st, 2012. I feel like I'm Karnak.
Poof.
What did June 1st, 2012?
Yeah.
You got me. I can't even guess.
How about a clue?
How about a clue?
There's only one answer to it.
June. Now this is the Mets. June 1st, 2012.
Yes, sir.
Which really was not that long ago.
What is another year that he didn't win the World Series?
Besides that,
when was the first year of Citi Field?
that's a good question. That wasn't one of my trivia questions, but all right.
Oh,
all right. You ready? It was. I'll give you a clue. It was.
Were they still at Shea?
It was a game against the Cardinals.
Okay.
There was a play involving Carlos Beltran. And it goes down in Mets history.
And this is June?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, when I think of Beltran, like other than all the good stuff, I think of him just looking at that third strike.
Yeah. All right. How about the name Johan Santana?
Wow, that was a perfect question.
And do you remember what happened that day?
Perfect game?
Well, no hitter.
No hitter.
Right. Tainted no hitter. But, you remember the play with Beltran hitting the grounder down third?
I don't.
And so Carlos Beltran hits a shot past David Wright. They call it foul. He winds up getting him out on a grounder. after the game, they review the play and it hits the chalk. It was a hit, and he got the no-hitter though.
Oh, okay. I must have known that, but I totally forgot about it.
All right, I'll give you another one.
You see, I'm not as good as you thought.
I'll give you another one. Famous
Rich,
Met.
Rich.
Famous Met.
Rich.
You ready?
Before you dabble into this lavish question of which I have zero knowledge of.
You're next. You're next, Bozy.
I can only imagine. If it's possible to dabble the screen towards the left, because not everyone can see your beautiful, wonderful, obnoxious face.
I try.
Oh.
They could see, what is the greatness of Ultimate Bosi and the sincerity of Les Deegan.
Where does the ultimate come from?
Well, I'm thinking about food, Ultimate Burger and everything. I've been thinking about food lately, and I haven't been able to touch any of these places because everywhere I think it's like, tainted.
Okay.
All right, I moved it, but there's a little delay, so we'll see what happens.
No problem. We'll find out later. But go ahead, your question.
So, okay. So, yes, this one you should know. This is a Met fan. This is a big day in Met history.
All right, I'm 0 for 1.
Okay. Big day, April 7th, 1984. Big day for a big Met.
April 7th, 1984.
Against, I believe it was Houston.
April, it would have been one of the first games of the year.
Go on.
Against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
1984.
Yep.
Could Willie Mays have come to the Mets?
No.
No. Good guess.
I'll give you a clue. It was a debut.
Was it Mike Piazza?
No. Too soon.
You see, I'm like with the dates are like getting me crazy here.
All right, you ready for this one? You're gonna kick yourself.
Probably.
Doc Gooden's first game as a Met.
See that? I wouldn't have thought of that.
See that?
See, Jeff, you know as much about baseball as I do.
Who's your favorite Met of all time?
All right. How many questions of these will I have to endure?
I got one more tough one for you, and then an easy one.
Okay. All right.
Who's your favorite Met of all time?
Tommy Agee.
Okay, this is not a Tommy Agee question.
Okay.
However, there is a connection.
All right. Tom Seaver.
June 12th, 1977. Something happened for the last time.
June 12th, 1977.
They cleaned Shea Stadium.
Bosie's parents had sex. Besides that,
Bob Murphy called his last game as a Met.
more important than that.
More important. There's not too many things more important than that.
This one is.
Oh, and a play by Buddy Harrelson.
All right, you ready? This was Tom Seaver's last game.
Really?
Yep.
And then he got traded to Cincinnati, right?
He went bye-bye. Right.
Wow.
All right, I got one more important date for you. If you know this one, then you are truly a New York fan.
Okay.
Suppose all the other questions that have been like
this may
so
or
far
may
I suck.
This may or may not be Met related. You ready?
Okay.
January 18th, 2019.
January 18th,
Yep.
2019.
One of the most unbelievable things in New York history occurred.
the day that you met Jeff Bosi. I think that's great.
You give up?
Well, is it a football thing?
No, it's bigger than that. That is the day that Bonnie Scalise crushed Jeff Bosi on Pazuzu.
How did I not know that? Everybody knows that.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
January
God.
18th of 2019.
You know, that's the day that the world cried.
It is. Les, I don't want to say that my partner here was calling you an old guy. All right, but
that being said, that's the buffer.
But Jeff is going to run some things by you to see how good you are, because you're a Met fan your whole life, and you know, we ran up a little bit of a list. Jeff, you have it handy, buddy?
Yes, I do, but I'm just trying to figure out which list I'm looking at. Am I looking at?
Well, Les, we decided that if you, Jeff, and I went to a ball game in 1969 together,
right,
or we went to a ball game in 2019 together, and we got tickets and a bite to eat and some beers, we want to see how close you could come to what it would have cost back then versus now.
Wow.
So let's see how
All right,
good
let's
you
get
are.
the ball rolling.
All right, Bose? Now, Les, here's what we're looking for.
Wow, this is a great question.
All right. 3 guys go to a game. Give us box seats, right? Because we go big time. I got Jeff Bosey with me. We're going big time.
Box seats. That's in 69, that's 350, 350, and 350.
100% right. Spot
Wow.
on. That's right. Okay.
But what about today?
The yellow seats.
Wait, don't hold on. We're going to compare today to yesterday. But Les, we're going to have between the 3 of us 1 hot dog, 1 hamburger, a piece of pizza, French fries each, and 1 beer each. Right? What do you think it cost in 1969 with those 350 tickets? Versus...
All right, so let's see. So not including the tickets, right? Just the food.
Well, the tickets at $10.50. We know that.
Okay, all right. So let's see. So that's around $10.50.
I can't believe you knew the price of that ticket right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. All right. And then it went to $2.75, and you know, I used to sit in the $1.50 seats upstairs.
Right.
In the greens.
Right.
Right. It was a green, blue, orange, and yellow.
Nice.
So see, these are the things I remember. Not June 7th.
Was there food up there?
1497.
Did they
what
serve?
happened?
Did they
Come
serve
on,
food
Les.
up top?
Okay. All right. Let's come on. We only have an hour here.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. That's $10. Pizza was probably real expensive. What? $1.50 for a slice of pizza?
How much?
Let's see. I don't know. For all of us, $40 $40.
No.
$40. Are you ready for these prices, Jeff? Tell them how much a hot dog was in 1969.
40 cents.
Really? Wow, I'm not even close.
Wait.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why
you
you're
want
asking.
to know something? Yeah, right. If it costs $3.50 to get into the game.
How much was?
Now I'm just curious. But now this is where I have to ask.
Right. I wasn't thinking. Thinking.
But besides the point, now I'm just curious. Why would you ask Les Deegan, a man who how kosher are you?
Well, my
you would be
favorite
getting a
dish
hot
is
dog.
my favorite dish is pulled pork. So
You think
Oh
that?
well, then
Wait,
forget
Jeff.
it. All that's out the window.
Jeff.
I'm not kosher.
Jeff, you
Okay.
think there's meat in a baseball park hot dog?
There could be some
You
form
know
of
why
it.
I wouldn't know the prices? Because in 1969, right, I was 15, so that means my father would have bought it, so I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah. Well,
It was free.
all right. Well, wait till you hear these other prices, Jeff. Tell them what the
A
price is.
hamburger went for 55 cents. French fries, a big whopping 30 cents. Pizza, and I'm going to tell you, today's pizza man couldn't touch this price. 35 cents a slice.
Wow.
And for your alcoholic pleasure, depending whether they're serving back then, what was it?
Rheingold.
Budweiser?
Was
What was
Rheingold was it Rheingold the beer of the Mets back then?
It was right, Rheingold, right?
Right. Before it became
55
Beer,
cents.
Rheingold. The
Before
dry,
it was,
then
Schaefer.
they went to Schaefer.
after that it was Schaefer, right?
Right.
My grandfather used to
I can
drink that.
I
But
can
anyway,
sing the Schaefer jingle.
Well, tell them how much a beer was, Jeff.
55 cents.
Wow. And back then it was like, wow, what a ripoff.
Yeah. So Les,
55 cents, I can get a whole 6.
3 guys could go and eat and have a beer, and you drop about 14 and change.
Wow.
Now you ready for this one? Let's see how close you come to doing
Okay.
the exact same thing in 2019 at Citi Field with 3 box seats and beers and fries and a bite to eat each.
About was it 8 or 9 presidents later?
Wow.
But dead ones or all of them?
Well, the box seat. I'm just trying to think. I know what I pay. I have a buddy of mine that's got season tickets that I buy from him sometimes, and I know where they are. And let's see.
Let's find out if Les is getting ripped off.
These are third base side box seats.
So my friends are going to go for. They got to be a $120 each, 120 each. More, huh?
Little bit.
You're only off by $46, but not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay. All right, so that's how it's. Let's say $600 for the tickets.
Hey Jeff.
$600 for the tickets.
Jeff, did you notice that when he was 15, he said his dad would pay, but he didn't say anything that his dad wasn't buying him the beers. He never admitted he wasn't drinking the beers.
Exactly.
So what was going on at 15 is what I want to know in that world over there.
Well, it was in the 60s.
I believe back then, I think the legal drinking age was what?
9.
8?
9. Well, the life expectancy was 14.
Yeah, so nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Well, Les, how much do you think within $20?
Okay.
How much do you think
that's
3 guys go? Now, that's only if Bozy has 1 beer. So, because if Bozy has his usual 13 or 14 beers, forget it. But this is only with 1 beer each.
So 1 beer is, I'm trying to think, how much was a beer the last time we were there? Like $12 each, I think.
Yeah, they went up again.
It went up again?
Yeah.
So 20, 30, 40, 50. Burger is
he's gonna nail this.
Burger's like $10, right?
You're getting close. Let's just round off these prices real fast.
All right, $4,378.22.
And that's without the parking fee.
He nailed it.
That's without the parking.
Yeah. So $14 in 1969, $573 in 2019.
Wow. That is wild. I haven't even thought about that.
And now if you go with Bozy, you got to add in another 6, 7, 8 beers at $13.50 a piece.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
So-
I wonder if it's more, a little bit more at Yankee Stadium.
yeah. Yeah. But you get a win. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
But the key thing is, what Rich is really trying to say is, don't invite me to any ball
Don't
game.
invite you to a game. All right.
Well, Les,
Jeff, when was the last time you went to a game?
Jeff, do you go?
Okay, I will admit, and this is where everyone will get like, oh wait, hold on, wait.
A simple yes or no is what we were
Oh,
looking for.
yes, but I've only went to 2 games in my entire life.
Wow.
Really? Okay.
And it was a doubleheader.
I did get the fortunate chance to go to a Yankee game.
Okay.
And this was back in 2011. So I went back then. That was 2010. It was before I was even further shit. Either way, it was sometimes in the 2000s. And then does going to the Ducks count?
Oh.
Judges?
No. No.
Oh, so I only went to 1 game, 1 baseball game, one.
Wow.
Wow.
Rich, you've been to plenty of games, right?
Yeah, I try to go every year. I told you, I grew up a Yankee fan, but I don't dislike the Mets. I just like both teams. I would always root for a Subway Series. I just feel like you can't beat the excitement. But I love the job they did on Citi Field. I think it's one of the coolest places to watch a game.
It's great.
And
it's great.
as a Yankee fan, I'd like to go. The funny thing is, the last 2 Yankee games I went to, I like to sit. I try to get a game where I can get the first seat behind the left field fence. I always like sitting there. And both times I went, and it was like May. It was the hottest day humanly possible, where we were almost dying, and you couldn't sit in the sun. It was crazy.
Oh, shoot.
So for $250, you have to go hide in the shade. You can't even sit in your seat.
Yeah, wow.
It's terrible.
But you're right. It's because you can, like, when you go to get something to eat, you can still see
Right.
the field. I remember. You remember the old Yankee Stadium, right?
Yep.
It's like when you. Oh, too bad, Jeff. You never went to the old Yankee Stadium. It was amazing, right? As a kid, you would walk, come into the stadium, and you would come through that little corridor and see the field,
Boom.
and
Right
you would
there.
get chills.
Yep.
And what I recall from the old Yankee Stadium days is if you would be waiting online to get a hot dog, all right, and you couldn't see the field because you'd be waiting, and all of a sudden you could be waiting online
you hear the
for like
crowd.
an hour. You know where I'm headed with
Yep.
this. Rich.
Absolutely.
You could be online for an hour, and all of a sudden you heard, now batting for the Yankees, number 7, Mickey Mantle. Screw the hot dog.
Everybody bolted. Right.
You're not going to miss the Mick.
Everybody
There was nothing
bolted.
better.
I actually went on the tour when the Yankee Stadium was being when they were moving into the new one, and
Oh, did you?
and it was cool because I have it's here. Hey, I gotta show you this. Hold on.
In this mystery wall.
See if you guys can see this.
Nope. It's your.
How about now?
There. There. There-ish.
Well, it's a
Is
picture.
it the scoreboard?
It's a picture from the press box, and it costs like $10, and you give them, and they put my son's name on the scoreboard out in the outfield, and they give you the picture from the outfield. So this was after the stadium. It was the last, right before they took it down. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
But it was a cool place. The new one is monstrous. It's also a vacation. You got to go, and it's like
it's very
$800 to go to a baseball game. It's insanity.
It's very, very high tech.
Right. And then Jeff wants to go to a strip club. You can't even go in and out of the game. It's a nightmare. It's that's why you don't go to games. You never make it.
Let me ask you, gentlemen.
When I was 12 and 13, my parents would let me, by myself and a friend, go from Sunnyside, Queens to the Bronx to go to a Yankee game. We would get there 2 hours before the game just so we could be the first ones online. And for $1.50, we would sit in the first row of the upper deck, right behind home plate.
Wow.
And you go to a doubleheader.
What? Yeah, forget doubleheaders. That's God's
Yeah, no, doubleheaders are great. Actually, Shea Stadium was $1.30. Was the cheapest seat.
Wow. What were you saying, Jeff?
So now I have to ask definitely Les a question. How do you feel about how the possible baseball season is going to happen this year?
Looks like they're leaning to doing games with no fans. I mean, they started in Korea already, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah, but do you think they'll go ahead and go for that so-called pay cut?
The what?
The pay cut.
Yeah,
The
they
pay
could have no
cut.
choice. Well, they were playing half a season.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the great argument is that players are always lobbying for a percentage of revenue. They're not going to want that argument this year. So they're going to.
Right. The pay cut. Check out the pay cut. What does a rookie make? What is it? 1.1 million is the minimum.
Oh,
What's
is
the minimum
it
for-
that high now? Wow.
It's got to be something outrageous, or any of them. What's the median salary? I'm not taking a pay cut. Are you kidding? I'm not going down to $35 million.
How
Come
dare
on,
they?
really? You can't take one for the team, literally.
It
But then
happens.
again, I guess I'm not them, so maybe I don't see it. But
So Les, I wanted to see my partner, Mr. Bosey here, his baseball knowledge, which you could tell is vast. I mean, he's been to a game,
oh,
and
oh.
so I have a little quiz for you, Jeff, and Les, you can answer after he answers the question, okay? Because then you can help me.
Okay. all
So
right.
Jeff, I'm
Yes.
gonna give you the names of players, and you're gonna tell
Oh,
me
boy.
if they're real or fake TV players.
Wait, baseball players or TV players?
If it's a real baseball player or a guy from a movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll see if you know who's who. Which you're gonna pick the real player. Okay.
Okay. Go
All
for
right.
it.
Number one, who is the real player? Is it Bingo Long or Three Fingers Brown?
I'll say Bingo Long.
Les?
I gotta go.
you. Okay. First of all, how do you guys
I
not?
lied. I know nothing about it. This is my wife's
Listen.
shirt. I've never been to a game.
Okay, listen. Bingo Long was a movie. Bingo Long and the
Oh.
All Stars.
Yeah.
Richard
Okay.
Pryor was even in it. Billy D. Williams, I think, was in it. Was Bingo
What
Long?
was the other guy? Three Fingers?
Three
what?
Fingers. Three Fingers Brown was an actual professional baseball player who had a accident on the farm and lost parts of two fingers on his hand, and he threw a wicked curveball.
Oh, I thought that like because he loved to drink and he'd go into the bar
Yeah,
and ask
well,
for Three Fingers.
Well, that I don't know, but you could. I like your version better. But
Okay.
all right. So Jeff, you're 0 for 1. Let's try number 2.
Okay, go for it.
Let's
Okay.
see if you can beat my record.
Okay. Who is the real player? Nuke LaLoosh or Oil Can Boyd?
Jesus
Finally, one I know.
Wow, you had to come up with these slang words too. For what
You
were
want-
the choices again?
You want? I'll give you first names. Ebby Nuke LaLoosh or Dennis Oil Can Boyd. One of them is from a movie.
I'll say the first one. Whoever Eric, I think it was.
Ebby Nuke LaLoosh.
Ebby. Yeah, Ebby. I'll say Ebby is the real.
Okay, Ebby Nuke LaLoosh was the pitcher in Bull Durham, the movie. Dennis Oil Can Boyd was on the Red Sox.
That's right.
And I
He
guess
had
he
like
pitched
a weird,
somewhere
weird
else.
lineup. A weird.
Yeah. Yep.
I used to be able to do it. I don't remember it now.
All right. Let's see if you can redeem yourself, Jeff. You're 0 for 2.
Ah,
2 players. I'm going to give you 2 names, 2 pairs of players. One pair is real, one is TV. You ready?
okay.
Okay. Ham Porter and Benny the Jet Rodriguez, or Gabby Old Tomato Face Hartnett and Bonehead Merkel.
I'm going to say the last 2 were movie, and the first set were real players.
And you'd be wrong for the 3rd consecutive time. So, Ham Porter and Benny the Jet Rodriguez were in Sandlot.
Oh my God!
Come on.
I don't remember that movie. The only one I remember from was the Beast or the Dog.
Yep.
That's the only thing I remember from the
Hercules.
Sandlot. Hercules.
That's right.
Hey, Rich.
Yes,
Did you know these already?
I do know
Before
these.
you.
I do know these.
You're good. You're good. You are.
Are you ready, Jeff? You got to get one,
Yes.
buddy. Okay. 3
Yeah.
players. One is 3 teammates. One is 3 movie teammates. You ready?
This better be from like a League of Their Own. So this way I know those players because
Pedro Serrano, Roger Dorn, and Jake Taylor, or Sal Bando, Joe Rudy, and Ray Fosse.
I know
Before
that
you answer, I just want you to know that I met the 3
Nice.
at a game.
Nice.
Okay. You're not going to throw me off, Les, because I happen to know this one.
Yes.
The first 3 are from Major League.
Yay! Posey!
Wow, very good. But do you know who the other 3 played for?
I had not.
And
That-
no, well, no, but they were on a really, really good Oakland A's team.
Right, they're on an amazing Oakland A's team. That's right.
Little known fact for you, Jeff. You heard of Pete Rose?
yes.
In an all-star game, when they used to be real baseball, Pete Rose annihilated Ray Fosse at the plate. And the guy was never the same after that. He damaged him in an all-star game, and that was the end of his career, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Charlie Hustle. There you go. All right, Jeff.
Pete
You got
Rose is a sore spot. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Jeff. I think you're trending. You might get a second one. You ready? Spaceman Lee and Chet the Rocket Stedman, or Wild Thing Vaughn and Archie Moonlight Graham.
Wild Thing Vaughn, once again, is from Major League. What they called him, Wild Thing, Vince Vaughn, whatever the Vaughn
Right.
name was in.
Which 2 are the real guys and which 2 are the movie guys? You got one. Vaughn is the Wild Thing. Who else is the fake
Right.
one? Is it Spaceman Lee, Chet the Rocket Stedman, or Moonlight Graham?
Chet the Rocket Stedman is another Major League.
No,
Just
no,
movie.
no, but he was
Movie.
in he was in one of the other movies. Rookie of the Year, I think it was.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, last one, Bose.
Let's
Bonus
make it
round.
His
quick.
name was Bill Lee, wasn't it?
Bill Spaceman Lee. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yep. All right, last one. You can help him if you
Last
want,
one.
Les.
Okay.
Okay.
I got you back, Jeff.
Thank you.
Jeff, I need to know who played professional baseball out of these four guys.
Oh shit.
Okay. Billy Chappell, Steve Nebraska, Roy Hobbs, and Henry Rowan-Gardner.
Henry Rowan Gardner is a movie that's from
Go
the
on.
little whatever there was. Yes,
Rookie of the year.
yes, and then what was the one before him?
Roy Hobbs, Steve Nebraska, and Billy Chappell.
Hobbs is another movie.
The Natural.
Now I'm down to two. Who are the last two?
Steve Nebraska and Billy Chappell.
Les, you got my back. You said you got my back.
These are good.
They are.
Jeff?
You need to get a smarter guy on the
Jeff,
show.
Jeff, by the way, viewers are saying, just so you know, Bonnie got all of these questions right.
Why, thank you. I can only imagine that she got all these
Well,
right.
Jeff, let me make you feel better, buddy. None of these guys played professional baseball. All four were in movies. Billy Chappell was in For Love of the Game. Steve Nebraska was Brendan Fraser in that crazy movie where he threw a perfect game and he only threw 81 pitches. That was the best.
Wow.
Roy Hobbs is The Natural, and Henry Rowan-Gardner was the kid who threw the ball 100 miles an hour.
You didn't bring up any characters from Field of Dreams, though. I noticed that.
What do you mean?
Oh, which one was Field of Dreams?
Oh, well, because Moonlight Graham was from Field of Dreams.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was a real ball player. Moonlight
I do
Graham was.
not remember any of these names.
Wow.
Speaking of which, Mr. D.B. Frick got he called out Field of Dreams. But then again,
all right, so,
once again,
guys, I got to do a quick commercial for us, and then we're gonna Then Jeff really wants to pick your brain a little bit about comedy.
Oh, sure.
So we're going to go there next. But first, I would like to tell everybody about this wonderful place called Govs Radio. In case you haven't noticed, Govs Radio has been providing a lot of fun and laughs, present company excluded, during this quarantine. Every day from 11 to 1, you can watch, Monday through Friday anyway, 11 to 1, you can watch Knock 'em Dead Radio with Sally and Tony. Except for Wednesdays when you get Chick Chat, when you get Eric and Danielle. Great couple of hours of really great guests and a lot of fun. If you watched it last week, you saw Eric Shevlin actually take a shower. Those of you who bet he doesn't bathe except when it rains were wrong. So he does shower. Mondays, 6:30 at night, you got Steve Squared. And I believe Steve Squared is actually a guy and a girl now. So maybe it's Steve and Stevie. I don't know, but it's Steve Squared. Wednesdays, 7:30, you got the previously mentioned Bonnie Scalisi, Mandy Jones, and Tony Landolfi when he comes back from being hunkered down as an essential employee. Three's Company, great show. A lot of fun there. 9 o'clock, the Punk Rap Etc. show. I have not seen it, but I've heard good things. Thursdays, 6:30, Zenkuda Soul Space. I know, Jeff, you're a big fan. You got your Zenkuda tattoo, I believe. 9 o'clock-ish Thursdays, our buddy Anthony Graz, Limo Talk with Anthony Graz and Bobby and Richie and everybody. A lot of fun. Fridays, 8 o'clock, a special Quarantine Life. Right now, I think it's been with Mandy and her husband.
Every week.
Last week they did some baking and some cooking. Look cool.
I want to hear about this next one.
9:15 Fridays. You definitely want to listen in because you got our buddies. Carla Okerson, who happens to be the brains and the looks. Then you got Mike Keegan, neither. And you got Tim Saliani. Basically, he just coughs a lot. But it's a good show. Domestic Disturbance, 9:15 on Fridays. Awesome listen. What else? Saturdays, 5:30. Our buddy Tom Galati does Cars and Comedy. That's a great listen, too. And if you're a car person, you definitely want to tune in. And every day during this quarantine at 2 o'clock, today you would have saw the handsome Mike Keegan doing Quarantine Life. Yesterday, you would have saw Jeff Bosey on dial-up service that was basically from an Al Qaeda cave, and it had no reception. But otherwise, you'll see 2 o'clock. You would see people doing quarantine life. So tune in. Give Govs Radio a listen. You can also catch them on Facebook Live, and we really appreciate everybody supporting.
Well done.
Okay, Les. We have Les
All
Deegan,
right.
who's me and Jeff couldn't have been happier to get this gentleman to hang out with us tonight. And Jeff
Thank
and
you.
I spoke, Les,
Yes.
and we said, you know what? Who better to ask about comedy than the
Well,
quintuple threat, Les Deegan?
There you go.
let's go ahead and let's divulge into this interview. Les Deegan, sir, how long have you been doing comedy?
Okay, let's see. I dabbled a little in 1980 and 1981, and then I took a bit of a hiatus, and I started again in 2003, and haven't looked back. So I say it's coming up on 17 years,
Nice.
excluding the 2 years back in 80, 81, where I had a lot of fun and met some very interesting people that now are very, very famous, and I'm sitting here on the computer with
He
you.
calls those, Jeff, the drug years.
The drug years, which by the way is actually, without getting too into it, a reason why I couldn't last there was because I was in my 20s and immature and partying, and you
But
got
just-
to really get somewhere. You have to really. It's hard, you know. You got to be serious. You have a good time, but you need to have a maturity about you, and I didn't have it then. So anyway, yeah. So it's in October 12th is going to be 17 years.
Wow.
Amazing.
That was my first open mic when I started doing it again at the New York Comedy Club on a Tuesday night, I think it was.
Was there any joke in the 2003 set that was in the 80, 81, 82 set?
The answer is no.
Okay.
However, there is a joke in the 2003 set that still is in my current set. It's a bit that
Wow.
I do. It's evolved over 17 years and has gotten much better and tighter and has gone in different directions, but it's probably the only joke that or bit that has lasted all these years.
Wow. You got to love, I tell you, those knock-knock jokes are timeless classics, though.
Well played.
They really are. So, Jeff,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
let's
been doing it a
let's
while.
pick the brain of this comedy gentleman here.
Sure.
Let's go.
What do you want to know?
I know Rich has a couple of other questions, but mine is basically to dig in. How easy do you feel to? Yeah, thank you. How easy do you find it to incorporate? Because I do notice when you do your act, how to incorporate music along with your stand-up.
Well, I mean, for me, it's easy because I'm also a singer. So I do have like various song parodies that I
Right.
do. So depending on how long the set is and where I'm performing, one's a little edgier. So if I'm going to be doing a really clean show for older people, I'm not going to do it. But it all depends. But yeah, I got about 4 things. I like doing song parodies, and I'm working on more.
Now, speaking of being a singer, you have also done a few plays in your past.
Yes, well, I originally started out as an actor. My background is in musical theater.
Okay.
Before I even got into stand-up comedy, I did community theater here on Long Island. I was Tevye and Fiddler, Fagin and Oliver, Applegate and Damn Yankees to
Wow.
keep with that baseball theme. I also did some regular comedies. I was Victor Velasco and Barefoot in the Park. And then when I started doing comedy, it was actually, you didn't ask me yet, but it was a very difficult transition because basically I was as an actor, I was acting out being a comedian.
Okay.
It took years before I would be myself on stage. I would be more or less, like trying to be a comedian instead of being myself.
You still
yeah,
take classes?
My background was in theater. Very, very different. In theater, you rehearse. There's your lines. You bang it until you're ready to do the performance, and that's it. In comedy, it just keeps one takes you to the next. There's no such thing as rehearse and do it. You're constantly evolving, so it makes it. Plus, there's no fourth wall, so
Right.
yeah, comedy's a lot harder than acting for me, at least.
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
So now with all these months it's working on that have passed so far, how are your thoughts about how comedy is going to make a comeback?
That's a rough one. It's a big challenge. I don't see it coming back to what it was for a while now. It's it's a tough one, Jeff. It's not only as just getting booked, but you think of the venues. The venues have to be open and letting people in, and how do you get people who wants to like go into a club with other people when you're not sure of the health situation?
Absolutely.
But eventually, as time goes on, I think little by little it'll all be behind us. At least I hope that's the case. But yeah, and it bums me out. It really, all of us, it really does. That who knows when you're going to get back to it. I did my last show was on February 29th. I did a long set to close a show at a health food store of all places in Oceanside. It was a great show, and then that was it. And
wow.
And then I think about a month and a half went by, and a couple of weeks ago, I did a Zoom show for about 60 healthcare professionals.
Okay.
That a friend of mine hooked me up with, and I hadn't performed, and I had to go over my set. And I got to tell you, not having done it in a while, and like looking at all the faces in the Zoom boxes,
yeah,
everything was. I thought it was going to be hard, but it was great. The material was now fresh because I hadn't done it in a while yet. I've been doing it, so I know it, and
right.
It was great.
So Les, during the Zoom comedy show,
yeah,
did you wear pants?
What?
Were you wearing pants?
No.
Good.
No.
Good.
I usually don't wear pants at real shows.
That, you know what? You're not wrong. I mean, it's yeah. I hear you. My
audience is like this. But he's funny.
Jeff and I were wondering, Les, if you could. Who was the funniest comedian you saw perform live?
The funniest ever?
That you saw perform stand-up live, yep.
Oh, that I saw in person?
Yes, in person.
Oh, gee, there's...
I mean, present company excluded, obviously, but,
It's funny. I thought you were going to... One question that I thought you would ask, and I'm gonna give you the answer you don't want to hear, because oh, brother, who do you think is the best guy out there these days?
Oh, no, we're getting to that. Don't worry. We're getting to that.
The funniest... you see, I like too many of them. There's too many. It goes on and on and on and on. It could be Adam Ferrara is a real big favorite of mine. I saw Brian Regan live, and he was terrific.
Yep.
I'll raise the stakes.
I'm leave out too many people because
I'll raise the stakes. I'll raise the stakes a little bit. I'll make the question a little bit easier.
Go ahead.
Okay. Who is your favorite comedian growing up?
Oh, growing up?
Yes.
Robert Klein comes to mind right away. I mean, okay. I was a Carlin guy too. I go back to the 60s, so I like Flip Wilson, Steve Landesberg, David Brenner. There's too many. I love comedy so much that.
But to notice that you answered those real fast.
Yeah, it's interesting. Those are the names that came into my head.
So, all right. So we wanted to roll something past you. No explanation. No explanation. Okay. Just answer your instinct answer. Okay. So Jeff, you wanna hit him with the first one?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You go ahead.
I got it. You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Carlin or Cosby?
Carlin.
Okay. Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle?
Pass.
Oh. Amy Schumer or Wanda Sykes?
See, this is tough because I can't.
No explanation. Pick an
No
answer.
explanation.
I'm not. Wanda Sykes.
Okay.
I seen guys take less time when you say marry, kill, or fuck. He's taken longer to pick a comedian.
You know why? Because everybody that you've given those people, I like them both.
All right,
it's like, I feel like I'm a coach on The Voice, and it's like it's the knockout round.
Okay,
and I gotta pick which one.
But you didn't pick Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle, so pick one.
Chappelle.
All right. Ray Romano or Seinfeld?
Dun, 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 dun.
Seinfeld.
Okay. Jim Gaffigan or Ellen DeGeneres?
DeGeneres.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Louis C.K. or Dave Attell?
CK.
Very nice.
And here's the biggest one. Jeff Bosey or Rich Rader?
Or Rich Rader.
Come on.
He stays home and gives up comedy. He's like, don't make
How
me
about the
do
Mets?
He's like, don't make me do this. Hey, Les, I have a question that I'm wondering if anyone asked you.
Okay.
In 2015, did anyone approach you and say, hey, Les, where do you see yourself in 5 years? and would you have ever answered, doing a radio show with these two weirdos, not wearing pants, having a Zoom meeting?
You know, never in a million years. If you asked me that, I was sure that I would have worn pants.
Yeah. And now? Notice,
now,
Jeff, he hasn't stood
But I
up
will
once.
say I'm glad
No.
it turned out this way, though.
Um,
Pandemic, but you guys are great. It's great to hang out with you.
I want to ask one other question because I know the time is starting to cut away there.
Okay.
We got
have
this,
you been able
this
to
many minutes.
that many?
This
Okay,
many.
Okay.
good. So now have you been able to be in contact or do you guys try to collaborate on anything? You being part of a comedy group, the Jester Squad.
We've been in touch. We've talked. We've done some Facebook, messages between us, and I'm in touch with everybody. Everyone's hanging in there. So
right.
yeah, but we haven't. Steve Perillo is great. He actually
Sharp
wanted
dresser.
to try wishful thinking to put together something actually for for last week, but it just to see if we could go to like maybe Ziggy's, and do something with no audience, but it just didn't really work out. But he's great. Yeah, he really wanted to get back into this.
Hey, Les,
Yeah.
what would be your, if you could pinpoint one thing to help a new comedian, whether they're young or old, like I started older, Jeff's middle, right? And you were in it young and then got back into it later.
Right.
But what would be your advice to somebody just starting out, well, I guess it'll be a little bit different now with the way things are, but under normal conditions anyway, what would be your advice to somebody starting out in comedy to both try to get good at it and also enjoy it, where they don't take it too seriously?
Right. That's a great question. I would probably say the cliche is get up as much as you can, but it's get through that fear of when you write something and you want to try it, just get up there and do it. And just you're doing it to try. Don't worry about the response. Just which is really hard because you're putting your ego on the line. Even 17 years in, there are times when I'll write something and I'll just be hesitant to even get up there. I'll try it next week, but you can't be. You just gotta do it, and it's a lot of experimenting.
Okay.
So be fearless, try it, and just don't take yourself so seriously, and have fun. That's a hard question. That's tough.
Well, we've all been there. But so my last question for you, Les, is this: as a Jewish comedian on Long Island,
Yes.
have you ever thought of staging an altercation in a bagel store to get publicity?
No.
No. Okay. Hey,
Seriously, that'll never work.
I had to ask.
These are the questions
Because
that
if
goes
I
right
do that,
through.
I'm gonna wind up in the basement of the Clarion Hotel.
Yeah, and this time you won't be duct taped.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Jeff, you got any more questions for our buddy here?
Oh, my Lord. I can go on and ask this man questions because you want to know what? He's such a great guy. He's so awesome. He's so friendly to be around.
Thank you.
And you want to know what? I have to say this out loud. I actually, oddly enough, yeah, buy your mug. I actually, I'm not of, of the Jewish religion, but I actually do appreciate every Friday when you post, what was it, Good Shabbos?
Oh yeah. Shabbat Shalom. Good
Yeah.
Shabbos.
I do, for some odd reason, it's not a complete week without me seeing that post.
Well, thank you. It's become
Les,
a positive habit.
don't
In other
listen
words,
to him.
it's like a little time out. Let's just. It's something my parents, my mother used to light Shabbos candles on Friday, and it would be like just a way to, thank the big G. We made it through another week.
Thank the big G.
So let's just take a time out now and chill, which I think is nice. We all need to do that. So thank you,
Jeff.
I appreciate that.
Be honest though,
Yes.
for the first couple of weeks, you actually thought it was sherbet, and I had to tell you it wasn't.
That's right.
Hey, listen, until I looked up the
Shabbat
definition.
Shalom.
He's like, why is Les so proud about it? This sherbet. It's ridiculous.
You want to know something? That would make for a great joke. You could say, I always envied my Jewish friends. I always want to be Jewish because every Friday night they get to have sherbet.
Oh.
Jeff, that's Shabbat.
He just stole Bosie's set from August coming up. So Les,
Hey, listen.
really appreciate you. Hang tight. I'm just gonna I got one last announcement before we sign off, but I wanted to thank you for joining us. We're a new little show. We're trying to find
Thanks
our
so
way.
much. Good luck, guys. You got a really good thing going here. I love the format. You guys are so terrific and wonderful. Even though you don't know shit about baseball, Jeff,
Yeah.
but neither do I. And thanks for having me on, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much for joining us, Les. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. So,
We-
Jeff, before we sign off, buddy, normally we do our social media putts of the week.
Yes.
But this week, I want to flip it to a little positive because we had a positive guy with us today. So I think there's
Okay.
too much going on there. So I personally, and when I say I personally, I mean us, the No Rhyme No
Yes.
Reason, us and our crack staff of none. We're going to donate this week, and we're going to donate from our buddy Tommy Giordano's Cafe Spiga. I personally, for us, I will speak for us, that we're going to donate as a birthday present to one of my favorite people on social media's little daughter, Darren Dillon's little daughter, Lily Grace, had a birthday. And you know what? If you ever see this kid's face on social media, it doesn't get any better. You can't be pessimistic when you see those kids hopping around. So that girl, for her birthday, will get a little Darren or Jessica. Please bring them to Cafe Spiga. You have a $25 gift certificate to get pizza for the kids. And happy birthday. And
Happy birthday.
that's on this multi-billion-dollar show we call No Rhyme, No Reason. I'm Rich Rader.
And I'm Jeff Bosie. But don't forget, if you like what you see, hit the share and the like button, and make sure you share with all your friends.
And thank you, Les Deegan, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Les.
See you
Good night,
later.
everybody.
you guys
Shabbat
next
Shalom.
And Sherbert.
Sherbet. Thanks, guys.